Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back to the Pretty Rich Teacher Podcast. I am so excited to chat with you all today. And if you're watching on YouTube, hello. If you're listening on the regular podcast feed, hello. I am doing my best to record all my podcast video. My content strategist told me I need to stop hiding behind the microphone. And it wasn't like I'm hiding, but I usually record my podcast in my closet. But shout out to my biz bestie, Simone Torrescent. Okay. She's a dating coach and she visited me last week. Was it week? A week ago. And she told me I just need to have my microphone straight up, that I don't need to necessarily go in a closet to record my podcast. So I am doing the thing, and it just gives me a reason to get dressed, put on some lip gloss, do my hair, put on my power pink. Y'all might see me in different shades of pink. My nails are always a different shade of pink, and I usually always have on some type of pink. It's my power color. But anyway, let's talk about how to stop being ghosted by recruiters. Okay. I hear this all the time from people on the internet. When I talk about the people on the internet, I'm talking about LinkedIn. That's where I get a lot of my data from. My actual clients is really where I get the most data from. But let's talk about what it means to be ghosted by recruiters. And I'm going to tell you all about, what it actually is, why it happens, how to stop. I'm going to give you some actual tangible steps. And actually, where's my notes? I had wrote down some questions. I have to go find them. If you see me referring to my phone, I do have notes. I mention all the time I got ADHD, so I'll be going all around the world. So I gather myself back. So I'm going to try to remember my questions, but if not, I am going to go and grab my notebook to go over them. So let's talk about it. All right. So whenever I hear the phrase, I got ghosted by the recruiter, let's just talk about it. Let's just dive into it. Okay. But at the end of this episode, you are going to know exactly what to do moving forward when it comes to being ghosted by recruiters. But let's talk about it. Being ghosted by recruiters simply means you're not hearing back after interviews or applicants. And I know that the natural feeling is disappointment. The natural feeling is confusion, frustration. You know, why aren't they messaging me back? Especially if they told you they were going to message you back or told you they were going to email. But ghosting is if you haven't heard back from them. But what I want to share is ghosting is simply them going with another candidate. And I think that educators take it very personally because they are not, we are, and I can still say we, they, us, we're all educators. But in the education profession, which is K-12 education, public, private, charter, etc., you are not used to not hearing back. Like, if you did not get a job, you almost always got a phone call. Like, I kind of remember now, like, even when I was applying to be, different administration position, I would always get the phone call said no. I would rarely ever not hear back, right? I would always get some type of email or thing. And so educators come to the corporate world and they expect it to be the same thing. Like, why can't y'all at least tell me? And the thing is, it's funny because the same people who complain, and again, if y'all are new to me, I am very direct, but I am not the type of direct where I'm like, I think Emma Watson had said it, like, honesty without kindness is brutality. And I'm not trying to be brutal. I want everyone to make more money. I want every single teacher, my PRTs, pretty rich teachers. I want y'all to be rich and making some more money. So I'm gonna cut the fluff and tell you exactly what's going on. But a lot of us, and so I want you to I tell my clients, find a coaching emotion. This episode is not gonna be what you think it is. Like, I'm not just gonna tell you, all right, here are 3 things to say to recruiters, stop being ghosted. No. I'm gonna tell you exactly what is actually happening and what you actually need to do to get you a job. Okay. One thing about me, and my clients hear me talk about this all the time. Did you get the job offer? Do we have a job offer? What happens to a lot of people when they get an interview, they go automatically start, ooh, let me look up this package. They have a nice 401k. They have, time off, or, oh, this salary. I don't know if I want to match this salary. I don't know if I want to take a salary cut. I don't know if I want to do this job. And I'm like, y'all ain't even did the first interview. So why y'all talking about this job offer? Number one. Get the job offer. Get good at getting job offers. I tell my clients that all the time. Get good at getting job offers because that is the true safety is getting a job offer. But let's go back to it. Focus. But I think the biggest thing is like whenever we use the term ghosted, I don't really like the term. I'm a words person. Y'all are not being ghosted. They just simply went with another candidate. And in the business world, they are not going to follow up with every single person. And the sooner you accept that, the less disappointment you will have. I think another big thing that educators expect in this journey is they want to be what's the word I'm looking for? I don't even think it's a word. They want a challenge-less journey. Okay. It happens all the time. So, especially with my clients, and I don't even say anything about it. So, if you are a client and you have done this, I love you. This is just me calling it out because everyone's doing this. So, they'll be super excited about an interview, but then they will kind of like not mention it again. Because typically what happened is you got an interview, you were super excited about it, and then you didn't get the job and you don't want to really face or answer, how that job went, how that interview went. So you just don't say anything about it. And I feel like a lot of educators we need to build. I'm going to talk about this in this episode as well, but emotional regulation. It kind of goes back to what I said. A lot of educators want to have a challenge-less journey, especially my high achievers. You want to have a journey that does not have challenges. Like you are expecting that you want the story to be, oh, I got an interview. I got to the second round, third round, fourth round, fifth round, and I got the job offer. That's how you're expecting it to be because in teaching, it's all you have. You rarely have, not even really, like, unless you're in like working at a private school or a charter school, you've never had to fight for a job before. Okay. So this journey of, not getting a job offer, a lot of y'all put so much shame on yourselves. Like, oh, I should have, could have, would have, did this. I said this in the last episode. You all are and again, this was also me. So I want, if this is your first time listening to this was also me. We expect to get it right the first time. And I want you all to know it is not, and I don't want to claim this over your life. Because I want all my clients. I want every single teacher, whether you're a client of mine or not. I want you to get the job offer. Like I want you to get the job offer. I'm always rooting for you. However, in corporate, it is very rare that everyone gets every single job they apply for, unless the only job that I know that happens are teachers. Okay. And then also, when you get really good at explaining your skills, you can get good at getting job offers. Like I know how, if I really want to go get another job, I can go get one. I'm not scared about the job market. I'm not scared about what nobody says. I know how to sell my skills. And that's really what I want us to focus on. So let's go. So when it comes to you using the word ghosted, if you talk about, oh, I got ghosted by the recruiters, they didn't respond back to me. I want you to just understand they went with somebody else. And whenever you use the term ghosted, you are on the triangle. If you don't know what triangle I'm talking to, I mentioned this in how your six-figure self requires a victory mindset, but I'm going to break it down for you just so that you know. So in this process, number one, they're not going to respond back to you every single time. There are 100 plus applicants. They do not have the time to respond back. Even if they do, it will be an automatic email. And I see y'all get mad at those too. You get mad at those. Like I saw one person, oh, please don't send me I see this often. Like, stop sending me rejection emails on the weekend. Stop sending me rejection emails in the morning. Stop sending reject. So it's like, which one y'all want? Y'all want silence or y'all want redirection emails? Which one? Okay. Number one, when you're on, and this is what I call the victim triangle. And it's not a term that I created. I just use it. I reference it a lot because it's typically what's happening. When you are using the term ghosting, you're on the victim triangle. And there's three things on the triangle. So I want you to listen again. And if you've heard that episode already, I highly recommend you listen to it, but I'm going to talk about it. There's three types of people on the victim triangle. Number one, blaming. So you use the word being ghosted, you are essentially putting all the problem on the recruiter. You ghosted me, you didn't respond back to me, you told me you're going to respond back. I wish you could respond back. Why are you saying this? You're blaming, 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 blaming. Okay. The second person is woe is me. Okay. They make not getting a job. Oh, what did I do wrong? What did I say? I asked a recruiter for feedback. Please tell me what am I doing wrong? Like, I just don't know. Like, oh, this sucks. Oh my God. Like, and it's okay. I get on the try goal often. The goal is to, and I'll talk about it, but that's two. And the third person, they're not doing either of those things. They're not blaming. They're not woe is me. They're just quiet. And those are the ones that typically is it's my clients and people who get interviews and then they just disappear. Like Bart. Is it Bart Simpson? I don't know. But like the meme where he's like into the bushes. They just disappear and they don't say nothing. They're like cheering other people on. You got it. And those are also the people who are on LinkedIn. They're like, teachers don't give up. The jobs are out there for us. And I'm not making fun of anybody, y'all. Please. No, I'm not. I'm very animated. I'm very animated. That's why I'm acting. When it comes to what you want to be in this journey is having a victory mindset where you are observing your own thoughts and your own actions. So if you are constantly getting, so those are birds, I don't want birds. If you are constantly getting ghosted by recruiters, my question is how many times are we gonna allow that to happen in the way of let's observe our thoughts and actions? Because typically what happens is you'll keep getting no's, and then you're gonna either become a blamer, a shamer, or on the wall saying nothing, giving positive quotes, but not really, doing anything. You want to be able to be honest with yourself. It's like, you know what? Why am I getting told no often? Okay. It can't always be the recruiter, right? It can't always be the recruiter. Typically, when it comes to getting ghosted, it means they went with another candidate. And I talk about this often, and I don't like to be right sometimes, but typically, if I see people who are getting interviews and interviews and interviews and no job offers, it is interviewing. And it goes back to it. I know people don't want to hear this, but it is your interviewing skills. And the biggest mistake or biggest thought that educators have is thinking that they do not have an interview problem. They thinking that you do not have an interview problem when, and it's not even like a problem, but like there are some skills that we can sharpen. If you listen to my podcast enough, I talk about the three main skills, and really I'm adding a fourth skill of what you need to do to be able to get a job offer. And the very first thing is you need to actually know what it is, the career that you're doing. Just the same level of knowledge and understanding that you have about the teaching profession, you need to have about the career that you're applying for. Okay. You need to know that role in and out because I want to remind y'all, they are hiring you to do this role. Okay. They are hiring you to do this role. They're not hiring you to train you on how to do the role. In business, like the corporate is business. Okay. In business, money is time. Okay. The same way that they're not responding back to you. Number one, also another thing, they are not ghosting people who they want to hire. I'm gonna let that land in the most loving way possible. Also, but if you're someone who gets to the final round interview, so like if you're getting first round, second round, but you don't get to the third round interview, you don't get to final round interviews, and you get a lot of first interviews, there is an interview problem. There is something that we can enhance. Okay. It is not an interview thing. It is not, oh, I need more interviews. It is, I have an interviewing skill that I need to sharpen. And I'm very big on words. So I don't even want you thinking of a problem. It's just bring your interviewing skill to someone. When you have a friend in corporate, be a client of mine. Like I have a few clients who are working with me now where, they were some people on LinkedIn posting. And then when I get them in my container, I'm like, oh yeah, now, and I want them to be like, Eureka, be excited that you got a job, like, what the problem is. Okay. Some people again, want to have challenge lists. Like they want to have challengeless lives. Like I want to be able to submit my interview to you, my interview prep sheet and no feedback. And I'm like, if the thing is, if you could do everything on your own, you'd already have the job, is what I remind people. If you knew how to do everything, you'd already have a job offer. But if you don't have the job offer, we have some interviewing and we want to be able to find the issue. And what I notice a lot of people, and I'm going to do a whole training with my clients about relevant expert, but a lot of the examples that you are using, and it's not your fault. It is all about your experience in education. Like, because you have only taught in education and you have not worked in corporate, most people, you don't know how to explain your skills enough for corporate. So it all goes down to interviewing, career knowledge, marketing your skills, and selling your skills. And then the fourth one I say is confidence. Okay. Is confidence a skill? Mastery is confidence. But I would call it a skill. But confidence is skills mastered. So I feel like you being able to check the box off, I'm super confident in being able to master the skills of career knowledge, like the skills of your new career, marketing, selling your skills. Okay. So let's talk about how we're going to stop being ghosted. Okay. How do we stop being ghosted? After I run over all those things, I want you to really start to change the language. Number one, stop calling it ghosting. Is it they move they all they did is they move forward with another candidate and you were not selected at this time. If they said that they were going to follow back up with you and they didn't, simply follow back up. And I will tell my clients, go get some more interviews. We should not have all our eggs in one basket. If you are holding on to an interview for dear life, like, oh, I really need, and it goes back, there's another episode I have about 5 habits of clients who made 6 figures. One of them is making peace with money and timelines. So if you are holding on to these interviews for dear life, like a kung fu grip, it's like, oh, I need this interview to turn into a job offer. I have bills. I really want to get a job. It's like the need, and you're like kind of chasing it, and you're so excited you got an interview that you just want to, like, you're just excited to be able to interview. That one client's like, I don't want to practice my interviews. I just want to interview. But the truth is, there are some skills that need to enhance. They went with another candidate and you weren't selected at this time. I want to get my notebook because I have some questions that I really want you all to answer. Before I run into that notebook, I want to talk about, you know, how no's are actually super helpful. If you are getting, well, number one, I don't want to use the word ghosted no more. So at the end of this, I don't want y'all even use no term ghosted. I don't want you to use that term. They did not ghost you, they went with somebody else. And once you have and I tell my clients to have a 5-minute funeral, I'm not telling you all to uh ignore the feelings. Like, I want you to feel your feelings. Like, feel them. I refer to it as a 5-minute funeral. Feel your feelings. I tell my clients, lay on the floor, die. And I know I'm a little extreme, but just have the party, have a funeral party. Put on black, put on a little hat, and just cry and be upset and be sad, be disappointed. Allow yourself to feel disappointed. Because the thing is, it is, you know, you do get excited. And I want to hold space. Like, it's okay to be excited about a job. It's okay. It's okay for this. You got really excited about this job, especially if it was a dream company. The recruiter was really nice. It seemed like a good fit for me and it didn't work out. Okay. That's okay. That is all right. Okay. After you have your 5-minute funeral, and again, sometimes the funeral could be a whole day, a whole weekend, just know it's a part of the process. Emotional regulation is a big thing in this process. But I always tell my one-on-one clients, we need a therapist. We need you to be aware of your feelings, aware that this is not going to be challengeless. Okay. Remember, my last two full-time, I think it was two full-time positions. I made it to the final round and they both gave me nice no's. Okay. Like, I made it to the final round. This is someone who is a veteran in the game. I've been in customer success for 3 years now. That's why my current contract position. So I ended up taking this contract position, but I was looking for a full-time position. But then I also told the universe, if I don't get these jobs, then I'm about to just do my business full-time. And I'm actually celebrating 1 year of entrepreneurship. I got a cake. If you're on side note, my journal also. Side note, did you know there are 3 ways to work with me? Okay. Number one, you listen to this podcast. If you were on my TikTok, Pretty Rich Teacher, if you search Pretty Rich Teacher, I have so much free content out there. So for my teachers who are very resourceful, for my teachers who are like, oh, I don't have money to pay for anything, and it's okay. Check out all my free content. Okay. Number two, I am releasing the exit plan course. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So in the show notes, if you're listening to this live, join the wait list. I am releasing some insane, crazy bonuses. If you are signing up for the course, enrolling in the course before December 28th, doors open December 14th. So you want to be on that wait list. I am dropping exclusive content to my wait list only for the exit plan course. I'm so excited. This is 1.5 years of me working with so many educators and working in getting them jobs in corporate ed tech. So I finally put it into a course. So it is a DIY course, but it is not your average course. This is not a chat GPT course. This is my brain. This is my knowledge. This is trial and error for myself, other educators, finally in a course. So make sure you're on that wait list. And then last but not least, my six-figure educator mentorship program. So if you are someone who is like, listen, I don't want no course. I want one-on-one support. I want your eyeballs on my interviewing. Like my clients get to literally record their interviews and submit it to me. And I'm able to tell them exactly what their interviewing problem is. Simple, but again, not problem, but their interview challenge, the skill they need to work on. From everything from being able to know the career that you're going into. So in my mentorship, it's specifically for ed tech, customer success or sales. Those are roles that I've done both of. I hire for these roles, so I know what they're looking for. Okay. I ensure they get the training for that role. I ensure that they are marketing their skills appropriately. I even help them market their skills and then sell their skills and do it all with confidence. That's one-on-one support and they get lifetime access to support. So make sure you are checking my show notes if you want to get support. But I am also going to talk about what was I going to talk about? Let me get my notes because I want some questions for you all to ask yourself. Let me get my notebook and I'm going to go over the questions. 1 second.
Take your time. All set whenever you are. Just let me know once you got your notebook ready and we can dive into any questions you got or any part of the outline you want to go over.
Chat, I was not talking to you. Chat is all in my business. I said, so let me go get my notebook. I'm going to go over my questions because I asked Chat to help me outline my thoughts and I'm not even using my outline. All right. So let's go to the questions. So these are questions I want you to answer for yourself if you are someone who is not hearing back from recruiters. Okay. Number one, are you self-aware? Like, are you actually self-aware? And what I mean by this is, how is your interviewing? And if you don't know, and if your only feedback is from recruiters, then it's even more important, are you self-aware? Your feedback should not only be from recruiters. Recruiters' jobs are to recruit. They're not to make you feel good. They are just to recruit. So, number one, are you self-aware? Because this all goes under the observing your own thoughts and actions. In order for you to stop being ghosted by recruiters, in order for you to move forward in this process, you have to observe your own thoughts and actions. I had one client, she submitted her interview video and I said, hey, so how did you do? Because not only do my clients submit their videos, but I make them watch it themselves. Like I don't like to just watch the video myself and give you feedback. I want you to be able to be self-aware for two reasons. One, I'm not going to be able to be there live in the interview. Okay. I give you feedback and you implement it in the interview and then you record it and we keep refining it. One of my clients is super excited about bringing her on. Shout out to Yaya, one of my clients. And she recorded her interviews and we were able to give her feedback nonstop. Okay. From her very first interview to her last one, we got feedback. And at first she was like hiding a little bit from the feedback. And she's like, you know what? No, I'm going to listen to this feedback and I'm going to implement it. And it helped so much that when she was in her interviews, she became self-aware. She's like, okay, oh, catching myself. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. So are you self-aware? Are you actually able to, one, record your interviews? I want you to record your interviews. Even if you're not working with me, record your interviews and watch it back. And I always ask people, would you hire yourself unbiasedly? Like, would you hire yourself for the role that you're applying for? And if your answer is just like, yep, no, I would hire myself. I love your confidence. But look at that role. And again, if you would hire yourself, but you're not getting a job offer, we need to become self-aware. Number 2, are you doing this? I stole this from my client. She had, so my one-on-one clients, they are able to submit a weekly accountability form, and I have them like document their thoughts, their anxious feelings for the week. And her note was, am I doing? I asked myself, am I doing everything I can do to get a job? Like, am I actually doing everything? Because I have clients, and this actually is good information. So, like, as I work with more clients, I learn more problems that people face. I have a couple clients who are not getting as many interviews as they would like. And then, so I have another document. It's called a 30-day game plan. And I have them like document all the job titles they've applied for in the past 30 days. There's typically two big things that I see of why they're not landing interviews. Number one, they're not applying to enough jobs. Like, that's number one. Like, my method is minimum. If you want to have absolute interviews on that calendar, 130 days. Okay. 130 days. And then the second thing is the job titles. I have some people who are applying to senior level positions, positions that are nothing to do with it. So maybe they're applying to like product manager, maybe they're applying to um what are other roles? Marketing, like just any roles they see in ed tech. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I want to work in ed tech. Let me just apply and I can do that job. And I think another side quest, ADHD, um, whenever, especially administrators, and really teachers too, when you get hired to be a teacher, you don't learn about that job until you're hired. And then, teachers could complain either like, oh, like they're not even training me on these things. They want me to do all these things, but they're not training me. Or they provide training. And you're like, oh, this is too much training. So when it comes to roles in corporate or ed tech, I want you to really, 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 truly, are you doing everything you can do? Which means, do you really actually know this role you're applying for? Are you really actually practicing your free interviews? Are you really doing everything you said you're going to do? Like, what do the walls say? What do the walls say? Okay. I also always say, like, do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? Because a lot of people have this story of, no, I really am doing every single thing. And I always say, like, again, if you are doing every single thing, you would have a job offer. You would have a job offer. And it's okay for you to not have that job offer. And it's okay for you to believe that you're doing everything possible. But if you're not getting feedback outside of recruiters, if you're not self aware, if you genuinely full body and you're not really doing everything, then that be happy that we have a solution. We've identified a problem. Okay. We've identified a problem. Another one is, are you regulating your own emotions? Like, or are you avoiding feelings? Okay. Are you regulating your emotions or are you avoiding feelings? Which means it's kind of like that the 5 minute funeral. Feel your feelings and catch what feelings you're feeling. If you feel disappointed, because there are different feelings to have. If you are feeling mad about getting ghosted by recruiters, why are you mad? If you're disappointed, why are you disappointed? Like, start asking yourself, why do you feel that? What feeling are you feeling? And can you name the feeling? And why are you feeling that feeling? What thoughts are you thinking about that? Okay. Or are you avoiding strategy? So feeling and strategy. Sometimes y'all don't feel like practicing for your interviews. I always say, do you feel like making money? I always feel like making money. Okay. I always feel like making money. I actually found I found my Lisa Frank journal. I was reading it before and ADHD side quest. But I had read what this is my 9-year-old self wrote this. And where's that page? It said, if I could collect anything in the universe, myself said money. And don't make fun of my handwriting. It said money. I would collect money. I love money. That's why I left the classroom. I like money. I love teaching, and I'm still teaching a different way, but I like money. So I say that to say, do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? I pay people to help me solve problems. I don't pay people. If I pay someone, and when I refer to paying someone, it means really anything. It could be like I have a team of coaches that help support me. Like I have a content strategist, I have a business coach, I have a money coach, I have a business systems coach. I talk about all these different things. And if I pay them and they tell me, oh no, you're doing everything right. What you mean I'm doing everything right? If I was doing everything right, I wouldn't be talking to you. Like, find the problem. It's like going to the doctor's office. I don't want to go to the doctor's office and then you say, "Oh no, everything's fine." What you mean something? What you mean everything's fine? No, find me a problem. Find me a problem. So that way I can know what to do. Like I want to find the problem. Okay. D- If you're avoiding the one, because some people just avoid feeling like doing something, and then are you avoiding the strategy? Especially my clients, some of them don't want to fill out the interview sheet. It's okay, but like even if like the interview sheet, because what it is, it's making your brain do something new. You've never had to do this before, so like the idea of doing something new is like, I don't really feel like doing that, or oh, this is so much to understand. But if you want to make money, like for me, I do a lot of work. I've been doing my business on my own. So I have my coaches, but like as far as the only employee besides my assistant, but I just got my assistant. And before that, I was doing everything on myself by myself. Okay. By myself. Okay. I'm still doing things by myself because we're getting that sorted out. But do I feel like doing things all the time? No. But do I feel like making money? Yes. So like for me, it's not even a matter of like, oh, I have to do this. Because I have some people, oh, I have to practice for my interviews. Oh, I have to do this. I have to do that. I have to do this. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. I tell some clients, go decorate your classroom. Go pick out your classroom theme for the year. And I'm not, and I'm being funny. But you don't have to do any of this. You really don't. I would, and people hate when I say this. People actually really hate it. Like I got some comments. I think if you really don't want to do any of this work, go work at Target. Go work at a server job. But I saw some other people. It's hard to get those jobs. If you cannot get a job at Walmart or Target, then we just have some strategy. It's just strategy because you can get a job at Target. You can get a job working at a restaurant. I see people all the time working, and servers get paid really well. So if you really don't want to do all this, go get a serving job. They get paid well. Go work at a retail job. Like you don't have to do any. You really don't have to do any of this. But you avoid the strategy. Like a lot of people, again, the challenge. They want to avoid challenges. They want a challengeless journey. There is no challengeless journey. You're already in a challenging situation if you're listening to the podcast. You probably don't want to be in the classroom. Okay, there's going to be some work required to get a job offer. But I always think about the infinite game. Like my infinite game, Hollywood. My infinite game is private chef, driver. Like I don't want to do anything I don't want to do. I know that that still requires work. Like I think the biggest thing for me, like when I became a full-time entrepreneur, like I was like, oh yay, I get to finally make my own schedule. I get to do whatever I want. And then my money coach was like, girl, you're running a business. Okay. You're running a business. It's very similar to what teachers have. So like whenever teachers are making this transition into ed tech, they're like, oh, I didn't realize, or corporate ed tech, et cetera. Like they're like, oh, I didn't realize it would be like this much work. Like, oof. Like it's like people want the reward, but they don't want the work required to get it. And I get it, but like it's like going to the gym. Like it mean like buying a gym membership does not mean body. Does not mean body yada yada. It means gym membership. It means you gotta go to the gym. It means you gotta work out. You gotta eat healthy. But for me, I'm like, oh, I'm excited. I get to work out and I get to eat healthy and I look good. I love this. What food can I eat that's healthy? Like I just find the desire. The desire is what keeps me in this journey. It keeps me excited about it. So it's like for you, if you really want to get a job offer, how can you make this fun? How can you desire this? Right? Like, are you in this for the infinite game? Because I have some people who are stuck with their finite deadlines that you created. You created. Okay. Or maybe your money's running out, etc. However, you created a timeline for yourself. And some people say, oh, I want a job by August, I want a job by this day. And I'm like, okay, so that's great. We can work towards that. It is possible. However, if you don't get it on your timeline, are you just gonna give up? Like, is the finite game gonna take you out, or are you doing this for the long run? Because most educators, they want more money, they want more time freedom. You can have that. We need to learn how to interview. Okay. And this is not a what it's not like I'm shaming or talking about interview, but the whole point is like, you should not be taking any of this personal. Like, this is simply business. And I want you to know that when you continue moving forward, like, one, that there are solutions, like, there's nothing wrong with you. I think the biggest thing with the shamers is they make them not hearing back that there's something wrong with them, but it's not any of that. Okay. We just simply have to observe our thoughts and our actions. What thoughts are we thinking? What actions are we taking? I have a lot of my clients I have them, okay, if you want a job offer, what actions do you need to take to get that job offer? Okay, what actions do you need to take to get the job offer? What thoughts you need to be thinking to put you in that mindset to doing the action to get that result? Okay. And the last but most important question, so instead of like focusing on the recruiters, are you ghosting yourself? Like, what version of you is showing up? And again, are you giving yourself what you need, or are you giving to this journey what you think that you need to be doing? Like, are you actually getting the right support to yourself? Because what happens is like, I see this happen a lot, is educators will like just keep getting more interviews, keep getting more interviews, and they eventually, I have some people who will keep getting interviews and they'll eventually get them a job, but it's not a job that they want. So it's like, how many times are you going to let somebody tell you no? How many times are you going to avoid the strategy? How many times are you going to avoid getting the support that you actually need? And that support could also just be you being aware of the process and just doing the things required. Okay. Again, it's not a secret. Do you know the career well enough? Are you able to market your skills? Are you able to sell your skills? If you're not able to do those things, y'all can learn. You can learn, but any takeaway is they are not ghosting you. They have so many people that are on their docket. Okay, I don't want you to take it personal. Feel your feelings, and I want you to just know that there is a solution. You can get a job offer. It's just going to require some strategy, especially if you are wanting to get into ed tech. So ed tech, I want y'all to remember, like, whenever companies are hiring for these roles, they are hiring for you to do these roles already. They're not going to train you. Okay? You can get the training on your own. You can a la carte this whole thing. But I really want you to know that there is nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. And there is a solution. Okay? Let me put my notes. So let's talk about the what about. So again, if you feel like, okay, I'm doing everything right, sometimes timing and fit are the reason. Like, again, if you're someone who's getting job like to the third round, fourth round, like you're getting past the first two rounds and you're not getting a job offer, you just have to continue refining. Continue refining. If they said they were gonna call you, follow up. Professionally, just don't start spiraling. Okay? What if it keeps happening? Revisit your strategy. Okay? And if you're just tired, take a pause. Not a permanent stop. I think I have a book. Rest is resistance. Let me get my little book. Rest is resistance. Rest is resistance. This is by Trisha Hersey, but rest is productive. Rest is productive as well. Okay? Rest is also productive, but like, you should be resting. If you are tired, rest, pause, and figure out what's keeping you so tired. What exactly is exhausting you? Okay? Actually is exhausting? And sometimes it's emotional regulation, like being able to handle these big feelings of redirection. Okay? Sometimes it's just you being able to handle these big feelings. And I promise you, if you are able to just be aware, if anything you take away from this episode is to be aware of your thoughts and your actions and get someone else to look at them. Okay? Um, what else was I gonna say? Let's have some beliefs to close out. Okay? Allow no's to be neutral. How can you make these no's become neutral? How can you be a tree in a storm neutralized by these no's? Okay? Another belief. I am a valuable candidate, even if they don't respond back to me. Every silence redirects you to alignment. I don't need validation to know my value. And more so, like, I really want you to give yourself the validation. After you realize, okay, I'm not going to blame anybody. I'm going to stop shaming myself. I'm not going to be that person on the wall just cheering other people on. I'm going to observe my thoughts and actions. Give yourself grace. None of this is to shame. It's just awareness. And sometimes you have to be able to hold space for, again, feeling those feelings. Also, the right recruiter and the right job won't ghost you. And I want to also close out with this. Like, honestly, truly, if you are doing everything, and everything includes asking for support when you need it, okay? Healing that hyper independence. A lot of high achievers are used to getting everything by themselves. Allow yourself to get support, okay? Allow yourself to get support, okay? And I think it's another episode I have brewing. When it comes to like the honest truth, if you're, again, this only is speaking to the people who get to the final round. Again, if you're getting to the first and second round and you're not getting to the third round or final round, it is an interviewing thing that we can fix. But if you're getting to those final rounds and you're not getting the job offers, it's very, very simple. Those are also things that can be fixed. And when you're in demand, when you know your ish, like when you know how to do your job, when you know how to explain your skills, like if you listen to any of my podcast interviews with clients, one thing that they had in common is they knew what they were talking about. Nobody luckily got into a six-figure job. No one was lucky to get into a six-figure job. I see some people talk about networking. Oh, I'm networking, but you still have to know how to interview and do that job. Okay. When I was hiring for my assistant, I always hire, like, I hire for my company, but like when I hire for my assistant, I'm like, you know what? I have very specific requirements. I don't want, like, as much as it would be nice to say, hey, like I wanna and I'll even be honest with you all. When it comes to like hiring a teacher, I have no problem hiring a teacher, but like when it comes to the reason why I hired an assistant is I don't have the time to do certain things. Like certain things, I don't have I have the time, I make the time. I'll say that differently. I do have the time. I have all the time in the world. Beyonce had the same 24 hours in a day. But the reason why I hired an assistant was for time. I wanted to be able to have my mind be free of other things. The thought of me having to train someone on how to become an assistant was not ideal. I went to a service that they train assistants for you, or they already trained them, and people who have already been assistants before for small business owners, for coaches specifically. I wanted someone very, very specific. Could I hire a teacher and teach them that? Yes. But when it comes to business, like, I think that's the biggest thing. This is business. It's business. It's literally business. Corporate is business. If you have a hard time hearing that as far as like, oh, it's just business, and it's okay. Like, I'm not telling you to be feelingless, but to make money, you have to have emotional regulation. Like, I don't necessarily agree with more money, more problems. It just means like the more money you make, you'll have different problems, but you also have more money to solve them. Okay. There's not an issue that money cannot uh solve when it comes to like the most part of things, right? Like being a homeowner. Like it's nice to be able to have money to buy a house, but if something's not working, like right now, my AC thermostat says change battery. I have no idea what to do. Okay. But I'm gonna figure it out. Mhm. Um, so this job search journey is a long game. Remember the infinite game. Why are you doing this in the first place? Why I have my clients write a letter from future self. Why are you doing this in the first place? Okay. And getting ghosted is not a failure, it's a checkpoint. And I want you to stay curious. I want you to stay consistent, stay visible, and I want you to know that everything is work outable. Even if you have been ghosted 11 times, it only takes one yes, the right yes to turn into a job offer. And I want you to really just evaluate why you're getting no's. How many times are you going to hear the word no? and be able to get that support. Okay. So, again, if you all enjoyed this episode and you want to be able to say, hey, I want the support, maybe I've had a lot of no's, again, find ways to work with me. Free content, my Explain course, my mentorship is really where I'm giving the individualized feedback. I love working one on one because I'm able to really give everyone the exact feedback that they need. All right, y'all. I will see y'all on the next episode. Bye.